Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Lean In Leander. I'm your host, Andrew Naudine, and today's episode we're going to sit and chat with Genail Marthol. Genail is a friend of mine who is a troop leader for a local Girl Scouts troop, and so we're going to talk a little bit about the Girl Scouts and some of the things that she does there, highlight how much of a community leader she really is. It's important to understand what individuals are doing in our community to help grow and prosper not only the youth of Leander, but the future of the world, I would say. So I definitely invite you to sit back and have a listen to our chat. We have some fun, and of course, we talk about cookies because Girl Scouts equal cookies this time of the year. So if you haven't bought your Girl Scout cookies, please support any Girl Scout troop that you run across here in Leander. Buy at least a box. Every little bit helps. You don't have to be like me and buy 5 boxes because, well, that's maybe not in everybody's dietary best interest. Definitely not in mine, but I do it anyway. So let's go ahead and get into the episode. One thing I do want to tell you folks is we've added a Twitter channel. So now you can find me on Twitter at @in_Leander. And we'll talk about some of the episodes there as well as use a few little clips from time to time and maybe foreshadow what we're doing next on this great program here. So join us if you will and enjoy the conversation. Episode 6 coming right up. Okay, so this evening for the first Zoom Lean In Leander episode, I'm with Genail Marthol, who is a friend of mine, I think. Is that okay? Can I call you friend?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Yeah, so we both have been involved here in Leander with some community efforts to increase the awareness around diversity, equity, and inclusion issues. But we're not here to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about something completely different because one of the things that I found fascinating, or at least interesting to me, was Genail is involved with the local Girl Scouts. And of course, we're in February, so cookie time. And so it just seemed like a perfect opportunity to chat with her a little bit about scouting. Now, you know, Genail, you don't know this about me. I was not a Girl Scout. But I was a Cub Scout, okay? So I am familiar with at least the idea of scouting at that very level. I mean, I didn't go on, I think I was a Webelow, I think it is. But I had zero interest in being an Eagle Scout or any of that stuff. It was like, yeah, no, that's enough. I can start a fire now. I can tie a knot. Yeah, that's good. I'm good. Okay. So tell me a little bit about, let's start with, what brought you to Leander? How long? You've said you've been here, I think, when we talked, you said like 11 years or something like that. How'd you get here?
Yes, I have lived in Leander for 9 years. No, I have lived here for 11 years. I moved here in 2011. Okay. So it's been a while. I relocated here for my job, of which I am no longer working with them now. So that's another story for another episode.
Okay, but, I'll write that down.
But I was introduced through Girl Scouts when my daughter, when we moved here at the time, my oldest was 6 years old. She started kindergarten, and there was a sign out that said, "Come to a Scout meeting." Now, unbeknownst to me, it was a Boy Scout sign. That's how bad I do not know the difference. So we went, and it wasn't for her. But because of her persistence, we actually joined a troop when she was in 1st grade, and I've been in scouting ever since.
Wow, that sounds to me like my son, actually my daughter and my son both played soccer when they were little. And we started at like the YMCA when they were like 3 and 4 years old or so. I am still running a soccer tournament for my son's club, okay?
Wow.
I mean, I'm still doing it. Matter of fact, it's this weekend. So yeah, it's crazy. I was like, I've been doing that for 15 years, I think, maybe even more. It's insane. But anyway, so you got swept up in scouting in a similar manner that I got swept up into soccer. So in scouting, I know that the Girl Scouts are organized a little bit differently. Help me understand what that structure looks like.
So they're organized by their grade level. They're organized into kindergarten, first grade is daisies, second and third grade brownies. Then they go up to juniors, then they go up to cadets, seniors, and ambassadors. So this program is from kindergarten through their senior year in high school.
Wow, I
And
didn't know that.
yeah, as they move through, I mean, the numbers dwindle as girls get more and more involved in other sports, but there are awards through when they reach brownies, they can start earning the more harder awards. So at a brownie, they can earn a bronze award, which is the highest level they can achieve. And that entails doing extra community service, finding something in your community that you can do to make a change or a difference and impact the world. And you will earn this achievement. The next one would be a silver award. And then the final is the gold award. So that's like the highest level Boy Scout can earn is the Eagle Scout, I believe. So the highest level a Girl Scout can earn is the gold award. And it requires a lot of extra time, commitment outside of normal scouting, and the girl does it usually on her own.
How many girls in our area in Leander specifically, but I guess out here in the Hill Countries more generally, how many girls are currently pursuing bronze, silver, or gold?
Not that many. That's the thing. It's one of these things where girls start out thinking, oh, this sounds great. But when they get into the nuts and bolts and how the time commitment is, a lot fall off. Luckily, I'm proud to say with my troop, we just moved from juniors to cadets this spring. Well, it starts in October, our season. And the juniors, we had 5 juniors achieve their bronze award. And we were very proud of them. Yes, they have to put in 20 extra hours. They actually created crafty kits and they donated them to the St. David's Children's Hospital for kids to use when they are admitted in the hospital and they need something to do to keep their mind off of all the medical stuff that's going on.
Wow, that's fantastic. I'm surprised we hadn't heard of that. I mean, that would be something that we really should highlight as a community.
Absolutely.
Would that be higher than average for a troop to have 5 girls achieving bronze?
In this area, with my oldest daughter. So I actually am the troop leader for my middle-aged daughter. She is in 6th grade now. I've been her troop leader since she was in kindergarten. With my oldest daughter, she's a freshman in high school. Her troop, she also pursued the bronze. So it helped that she did it. So my middle child saw her do it. And it was like, well, if she did it, I can do it. So I feel like that helps motivate other girls or younger girls. And because we did it, the 5 of us, and we've shared it with our service unit, which encompasses about 150 to 200 girls, give or take, each year. They now see a role model to say, hey, if they could do it, so can we. But we're always pushing the girls to go for the highest award and get that recognition because not many achieve it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fantastic. And kudos to your daughter for, I mean, that's a commitment. She was from kindergarten to now, she's been pushing to achieve, which is a fabulous reflection on you. You should be proud.
Thank you.
I think I find that to be extremely notable in my experience dealing with young men. I mean, again, I it's not the same, but it was, there were the boys that I worked with when I was working with young men, they were high school age or so, to see their commitment to a team all the way through their senior year of high school. It's very difficult. It especially gets difficult towards the end of that because there's just so many distractions and they start thinking about college and all the other things that they're going to do next. So, but to see that level of commitment through that point, it's always notable. And not everybody does it. I mean, I remember when I first started coaching and working with teams, I don't know, we had 20 teams. Okay. By the time I got to that group and we were working with 14, 15, 18-year-old boys, you're down to 1 or 2. So, and that's team wise. I mean, and you're surprised if you can actually keep 2 teams together. That's very difficult over that period of time. But I mean, that's a testament. I think my personal opinion, a testament to not only the achievements of your daughter, but to the quality of the surroundings, which kind of leads me to that whole Leander question, kind of coming back around to Leander. So as a community, how supportive was Leander and scouting to your family? You were new here. You were a minority. What was that experience like for you? How did that really? What's the reality there, I guess?
Well, the reality 11 years ago definitely was a shock when you walk into the room and you're like the only African American there. Luckily, my oldest daughter was placed with a phenomenal troop leader and co-leader, and they became lifelong friends of mine, both white females. And they, took us in, and I've had a great relationship with them and the troop and the moms of that troop. So in the small bubble, it's been very manageable and doable with my children understanding, everyone doesn't look like you. However, you can commune with others. And I think it's also helped some of the girls in the troop to have a friend that's African American that you're doing life with. It's one thing to maybe see one in the grocery store or pass by them at the playground, but when you're actually learning, building, camping, going on trips together, they are now learning how to mix with other races on a normal day-to-day basis. And we've all come through this saying we're more alike than we are different. And
right.
That has been great.
Yeah, no, I would imagine just that, again, that community that does develop in those situations would strip away a lot of the noise, for lack of better terms, that's related around, how people, communicate to each other and relate to each other. It's difficult, and we both know that because we've talked about it before. It's not the easiest thing in the world to talk about. And so, the reason that I'm bringing it up is because, we are, again, admittedly and openly, we're both working for diversity, equity, and inclusion issues here in the city of Leander. And, for me, doing this particular project, one of the reasons that I'm doing it is to highlight some of the movers and shakers in the city of Leander. And I would qualify you based on those accomplishments. I'd say, hey, look, here's Genail Marthol, who's a troop leader for Girl Scouts. And some people would say, okay, yeah, great, cookies. And I'm going to say, no, there's 5 girls in her troop who have achieved the bronze status within Girl Scouts. And if you don't know what that is, by the way, that's like 2 steps below an Eagle Scout in Boy Scouts. So, I mean, these girls, those are big time achievements. And it's unfortunate that people don't understand that as well as I think they should. So this is my effort. And I thank you for coming along in the journey to highlight those types of things and say, hey, look, this is our community in Leander. These are the people who are changing and moving the goalposts, if you will. Like there are bigger goals to achieve in the city. And that definitely is one of them. So again, kudos to you. I think that's a fantastic achievement. I really, really do. Let's talk about cookies just for the minute. Okay. Well, let's get a little less serious. Let's talk about cookies. So everybody should know at this point that, once February rolls around, the Girl Scouts come a knocking. And in this pandemic, I assume they're virtually knocking? How's that working?
A little both. We have some new measures in place so that girls are able to still sell without going door to door, which has been a tried and true tradition. And there are links available. There are QRC codes where you can scan and it will send an email to the girl and you order, and then she could deliver it without any contact, leave it on your front porch. Payment is all electronic, but we still do the method of setting up a booth at some of the popular spots like Lowe's, Walgreens, Randall's, both entrances, because you can't hide from us. And we sit at a table, or we stand at a table. We do not sit for 2 hours, and we try to entice you to get in a box of cookies.
Yeah, no, I've had two circumstances, one on accident, one on purpose, where I've run into you doing exactly that. I remember when I ran into you at the grocery store, the gentleman who had just, I think, ran a triathlon. I have no idea. Sweatiest guy I've ever seen in my life. No kidding. But he was buying, I don't know what, he bought like 8 boxes of cookies.
Not that many.
Yeah, I swear. I mean, I don't know. I felt bad because I thought maybe I made him feel bad about buying the cookies. Which, I was just being me. I was just ribbing him a little bit. But we went and saw you at Lowe's this weekend, and I've already eaten all the cookies. So
you'll be back.
I guess I'll have no choice, right? Although I'll be honest, and this is not a knock, okay? The gluten-free cookies, which I know Girl Scouts they're trying. They want to see how they do before they bring 3 or 4 of them to market, because they smart girls. But yeah, those aren't going quite so fast.
Mix it with some milk.
With some milk. Oh, is that the secret?
Oh, we know how to get it done. Don't worry.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll try some milk. I'll try some. I didn't. But they weren't bad. They're tasty. There's just I think part of it is probably mental too. It's just like it's gluten free. I'm like I'm missing something supposedly. All right, so tell me a little bit more about the types of things that you do with scouting. I mean, we've talked a little bit about this bronze achievement, but like on a day-to-day basis, I mean, you guys are not selling cookies all year long. That's
true.
You're doing other stuff. What kind of community projects, what kind of things do Girl Scouts do in the community of Leander today?
We do a lot. From kindergarten, the great thing I found with Girl Scouts is that we teach these girls from kindergarten, first grade, and we keep reiterating some of the same topics as they move along, but just getting deeper and deeper into a subject. So when they start out, we teach them the Girl Scout law, which is to be honest and fair, and to be friendly and helpful, considerate and caring, courageous and strong. These are all great attributes every human being should have. And we continually reinforce these things as they grow older and older. So I may teach them a first aid badge in 2nd grade, but by 4th or 5th grade, they're now learning how to do CPR. They're now learning how to make a tourniquet, where I can't teach you how to do a tourniquet at 7. You don't get it. Right. But at 12, you're like, oh, okay. So if we fall down a ravine while we're hiking, I can help my Girl Scout sister without breaking her arm further. So that's the great thing about Girl Scouts. It's not a one and done. It's a continual learning thing, which is life skills. We teach from the standard camping, how to start a fire, how to do things naturally, not using lighter fluid. So how to be kind to our environment that we have, how to make a place better than you came. That is one motto you will hear moms say to their children, because they hear me say it to the Scouts over and over. Make the place better than you came. It doesn't matter if there was a small mess on the table when you sat here. When you leave here, the table should be clean, spotless. So teaching them life lessons, we teach them how to budget. We teach them how to shop, how to prioritize. We're already discussing, I want to say back in 5th grade, I was already talking about college expenses and how they would survive living on college. And what we've done tours with our local A+ Federal Bank, where they've shown the girls where money is kept, how money is processed. So life skills that they will need in life, period, that may not be covered at school. So, and in a fun environment, finding creative ways for them to travel places. My oldest daughter, she's done a restaurant tour where she went into one of the pizza places locally, and got to go in the kitchen and see how they make the pizzas, how they take the orders and play with the pizza dough. And they each made their own pizza. So giving them hands-on experience and being involved in the community, saying, hey, we want to support you. Each year, my oldest daughter, they used to throw a father and daughter dance. It was a really big deal. First of all, there wasn't anything at the time for our children to go to with their dads. It was a time for them to dress up, have pictures taken. There was a theme with it every year. One night it was Night at the Oscars. So it's like, look at us. And they had little Oscars on the table for them to see, just making memorable moments that when they look back on this 15 years from now, they're going to be like, wow, that was amazing. And it was only because I was in Girl Scouts that I knew about this and was able to participate in something like this.
It's interesting. How much have you learned in 11 years?
Oh, a lot. A lot.
I'm assuming that you didn't know how to make a tourniquet at first.
No. I was never a Girl Scout. I had no desire to be a Girl Scout. I'm originally from Chicago, or a suburb of Chicago, Illinois. It's cold more months than it is warm. So selling cookies door to door, camping outdoors, no. But now I have an outdoor stove. I know how to put up a tent. I know how to bake outside and using a box and some tin foil and some charcoal. So like I feel like I'm MacGyver because of Girl Scouts.
That's funny. So my daughter is in Orland Park now.
Oh, okay.
She went to DePaul University, and she met her fiance up there. They're getting married next year. Not this year, next year, 22. So we go to Chicago. We go to Chicago a lot, is what I'm trying to say. We go up there on average probably twice a year. And I've seen the snow up there. So like the snow day episode from the other day, folks.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
That's like an afternoon. That's like an afternoon, snow drizzle in Chicago. I mean, that's nothing. And I mean, they're dealing with it right now. She told me tonight that her car slipped off the road into a ravine. And she's fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. She didn't tell us because she thought we'd worry. I'd be like, hey, my first question was, are you okay? And then she said yes. And I said, how's your car?
True dad response.
Right. So, so that's crazy. So whereabouts in Chicago? I'm just interested just because we're talking.
I grew up in Bellwood, Illinois, and after my husband grew up on the south side of Chicago, and we kind of merged. We moved two different locations, but west suburbs is where we last lived in Glendale Heights.
Okay, so Sox or Cubs?
Sox.
Ah, man, so you're really a Southie. You're really a Southie then. All right, that's cool. We'll have to talk about that another day. So you have 3 daughters then, and
yes.
I understand that you're contemplating the youngest as far as scouting is concerned.
She's 3.
Okay.
Will be 3 in a week, and I'm hoping by the time she's ready for scouts, so in 3 years, my oldest will be going to college. And I'm hoping it's died down a little bit. So I'm not committed another 12 years of my life to scouting, although I don't know if I'll ever be able to get out.
Right. No, we talked about that a little bit. I mean, earlier, I mean, we were with the soccer thing. It's if you find something that you really feel you're making a difference, if you're really impacting people's lives positively, I mean, that's been my experience. I'm assuming that you probably share a similar experience or similar outlook. Even though it would be a commitment of your personal time once your children are gone, you still do it because it's making an impact. It's a positive thing in the communities.
Absolutely. I have one story of one girl who was in my troop. She didn't start in kindergarten. I want to say she came about 2nd grade. She was a friend of one of the girls in my troop, and that's the only person she knew and pretty much the only person she wanted to know. She was very quiet, very shy, only child. Her mom was the total opposite and was just like, good luck, like, I hope this works. And when I tell you, over the course of 2 years, she auditioned to sing at her school. She stepped out of her shell. She's now competing in cheer and not just middle school, but in like a club.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just amazing. When I see her now and she's talking, I'm like, who are you? Like, do you remember Shy you? Like, she is completely like confident. And that is what drives what we do. Whenever we see our girls break out of a shell, break out of a, a comfort zone where they say, I can't, we don't allow that talk. It's like, no, you're going to learn. You're going to try. You're not going to say you can't. You can. You just need a little bit of help or a little bit of guidance, and you
Mm-hmm.
will get there. So
Mm-hmm.
teaching them how to speak in public, how to present, all of these life skills. Sometimes some people miss these little tidbits that they need to survive in corporate America.
Yep.
And we are constantly, I would have to say, in my bronze team, I didn't lead it as a troop leader because that's a lot. I have a coordinator who I assisted with making sure they stay on track and they follow things. She is very corporate mindset, and she would start the meetings with an agenda, with where we plan to go. I mean, these girls knew how to raise their hand, and I have a point I need to make, and very official at times, fun all the time, but they were just learning. This is how you get things done. You prioritize, you project, it's what's the word? Project manage,
Mm-hmm.
all of these skills. They did all of it. So
No,
very, very proud of that.
That's super. I mean, they could probably do this better than I do because I kind of loosely do an agenda. No, we're getting a little bit more serious now. So I start to kind of like I start to put pen to paper, so to speak, on these, so that we kind of keep on track with what it is that we're talking about. But those are, I mean, that's great. And the thing is that for the audience, for people who are in Leander, who are watching this and who tune in on a somewhat regular basis. I want them to see this and understand the underlying point. Again, this is part of the concept of Lean In Leander. It's like, take a minute, lean in, and listen, and understand what's actually happening in your community. And it's not just about, again, it's not just about the cookies. The cookies are great. It's a great fundraiser, and something that the Girl Scouts over the years have made into this magnificent business exercise, not only for them, but for the girls to understand all that, to go through that process. I mean, fundraising is hard. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. Selling is hard. If you're not naturally inclined. I mean, I'm a salesperson, and I do it for a living. So when I see, again, I'm inclined to buy because I understand what's going on, and I get it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you're trying to teach something here. It's not just about the cookies, it's like you're teaching them something here, and they're learning, and
also learning that it's okay if someone says no.
Yeah,
not everyone's gonna say yes, and learning how to get over that.
Absolutely, that's a huge life skill. Trust me, my skin. Once I'm dead and buried, they're going to open up my coffin in 100 years after that, and there's literally going to be alligator skin there, because that's what I've developed over 20 plus years in sales. I mean, you have to learn, and the other thing too is that it's not personal. I think that a lot of times people take that very personally. Oh, you're saying no to me. No, they're not saying no to you. They're saying no to cookies. Okay, so just kind of separate the two, and I'm sure you guys definitely make that point to the girls. I can tell, because I've said no before and they seem to take it pretty well. So for what it's worth. But I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to spend a little bit with us here, and me, myself. Again, my guest this evening is Genail Marthol, and she is a troop leader, but she's a community leader. She's someone who is making a difference in the lives of young women here in Leander. And if you don't know who she is, you probably should get to know her. So I encourage those of you who are out there, any cookie sales coming up in the next couple of weeks. Remember, we're recording for next week. So what do you got planned down the road?
Cookies are on sale until February 28th. So when you see them out there, support them. You're helping them achieve some goals. Some of them want to travel to Japan. Some of them want to do things locally, but this is the only way, well, one of the only ways they make money. The other one is fall products, which a lot of people don't know about. But October, the
Okay.
first 2 weeks of October, Girl Scouts are always selling nuts and candy in magazines. So
Oh,
look
okay.
for us in October, but I know cookies is the big deal come January.
Well,
So
I mean, the cookies are just, I mean, ubiquitous at this point. I mean, they're just everywhere. So it's like it's air almost, you know. It's like, once you get, and it's funny because you just passed January. So if you're, if you're physically inclined and you're working out and you're hitting those goals, then you get the cookies and it's like right back at it. It's like, damn, you got me with the cookies. But I'll look, I'm not so much up into the magazine stuff. Because I actually sold magazines when I was a kid, so I have a traumatic experience. But I'll remember that. I'll remember that. So remember, okay, cookies in February, nuts and what else?
candy.
And nuts and candies in October, right? October, February and October. So for those of you who didn't know, now you know. You're learning things on Lean In, which is awesome. So again, Genail, thank you so much for your time today. You've been gracious, fantastic stories. And I know that we're going to talk again. I know we're going to have some other episodes, stuff we're working on in the long range that will definitely, hopefully, include you as well. So look forward to that. Thanks for your time again tonight. Have a good evening and lean in next time.